Back at the Bus Podcast, coming to you with another comic book review. As always, you know I got with me my man Theo Butler. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. I'll let the people with Theo.
What's up? What's good? What's poppin'? What's cracking? Perfectly really good in the hood. It is your man Theo Butler, special guest of Marcus and Josh back at the Bus comic book review. Oh yeah.
And today we've got issue number 3 of Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants. Kind of wrapping up this short Storm mini. Kind of looking back on it as a whole, I will say that I think for Al Ewing in particular, right? Not that he has been the sore spot of this whole Sinister event, but for him in particular, I felt like we got a little bit of under deliverance. I don't feel like what I would expect Al Ewing to do with what's supposed to be one of the bigger events of the year. I don't feel like it got there. Right, like we're getting ready to wrap all this up with the next issue, so I just don't feel the impact all like that. I don't feel like we went anywhere too far from where we started, because it feels like from where this book ends, we're gonna have a way, just like you said last week when we were reviewing issue 2, we're gonna have a way to go back. It is seeming like, but you know, we'll see how it plays. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the run that we've seen all 3 issues of Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants?
That's the slippery slope when you do storylines that go that jump forward, like Days of Future Past and everything like that. You're jumping into the future. Well, us comic book fans, we like things present tense, so you gotta be careful what you do. More often than not, if you go to the future, you come back and we still in the same timeline, because that's what we've gotten accustomed to. Yeah. Usually when you get a change that's gonna stick is when they go back in time and they come back. They be like, oh, this is where we at with it. You feel what I'm saying? So other than that, aside from reading Storm, I will say this. In the time that you and I have been doing comic book reviews, Sword, X-Men Red, now Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants, regardless of whatever writer is writing Aurora, they are only elevating her legacy that much further. Like, if this story does nothing else, even the artwork that we have on here, I don't know if you noticed it, but it's Storm in a cloud, and at the bottom, that's a city. That's like a metropolitan city. So they're really...
hey, you know what? They did a good job of making them look like raindrops, but you are right. Those are definitely buildings, it looks like.
So,
or people. Are they people?
No, it's the city. It's the city. You look at the blocks, I'm looking at squares and everything like that. So basically it's just...
I see people, Theo. I see individuals.
Well, you know what? 2 things can be true at the same time.
If you get real close, down like close to the edge of the bottom of the book, you can kind of make out people. I
got to get some more glasses and contact lenses. You killing my eyes like that, but you know they're adding layers to Aurora. I mean, like what we're getting ready to review right now, that's just another notch in her belt, man. Like you know, see Aurora, like when she come back, who running up on her?
Nobody.
And that's exactly how that needs to be portrayed. It's like, nah, she got too much going on now, bro. Like, we know Magneto is OP, right? We know that, right? And it might be because of the fact that he's been a villain and an anti-hero, and Aurora has just been a hero. But we go above and beyond to make it known that he's an Omega level mutant. We say Aurora's Omega level mutant, but in the stories that you and I have been reading, they have really been putting respect on the fact she's an Omega level mutant for real. So... yeah, I love that. I love them seeing that they're giving her that shine and everything like that. I do love that. So shout out to Al Ewing for, you know, highlighting that sister.
So we are at the point in time in the timeline where we've jumped ahead about 1,000 years. We are still at the World Farm, only now we are calling it the Storm System. After the Storm gave her life to commandeer it and move it to the edge of the universe. Head dude in charge is John Ironfire. Right? Storm's right-hand man, looking old as hell. So, and also, I'm guessing some sort of aging or decelerated aging or healing factor he gotta have, because this man is over 1,000 years old. So is Cora the Burning Heart as well, who we see there as well.
don't all mutants have slow? You know, isn't it just the norm now?
I think in general they do, but 1,000 years means some type of healing factor. You didn't beat cancer, tissue degeneration. You didn't beat a lot of things to not have some sort of power.
All of it. I think it might have been because you and Al doesn't go into it. It might have been their machinations with Sinister, because we see some other mutants that should be dead and gone still kicking it in this book.
Yeah.
It might be like you said, mutant healing factor. It might be the fact that Sinister somehow involved with it. You just never know. But he do look old as dirt though. You couldn't have told me that was John when I first opened up this book, unless you just telling me, okay, that's John.
He looks like Odin or Bor.
Or Odin son.
Yeah, that's what he looked like. I was like, dang, the mutants done teamed up with the Asgardians. Okay, that's it.
My dog wasn't even sporting the cape before. Now my dog done got a beard. You know, we don't really see his eye like that. He done bulked up and everything. I'm like, this ain't what you. Okay, never mind. Okay.
Cora looks pretty dope too. She's a grown woman now. You still see the fire skeleton in you know, in the middle of her armor and all that stuff. She looks pretty dope. This is Cyclops Pitbull though,
bro.
Well, man, hey. The Cyclops Pitbull is hard.
Hold on, before we go there, because you're right, it is hard. Cora, the burning heart. Mm-hmm. Hasbro. Can we get the action figures?
Yeah. Let's get some of that.
Because we got the Fall of X coming up and everything like that. You gave us some X-Men action figures when we did the House of X, but you ain't went back to no X-Men since then. So, you know,
I ain't said damn Moira toy. Damn Moira toy. Now I know you can give us a Cora to Burning Heart. If y'all gave us a regular Moira before she became a Sentinel, like.
Let me just go ahead and say, as an action figure collector, I was like this. Who asked for that? Nope. You know the only thing I need more for? The only thing I need more for, watch this, is the Krakoan plant that came with it. I don't need it for nothing else. I don't. You know, for nothing else. But the Cyclops dog is hard. Almost make you want to go get a dog and get him a pair of Cyclops shades.
Man, and put it on him for real for Halloween. My dog would hate that. So Cora and John are deliberating as looks like they're walking to some type of throne room, and John seems like he's wrestling over a decision. He mentions earlier that he should have trusted Storm initially at some point in this timeline, and he's asking Cora, can he trust her now? And Cora's like, it ain't Storm that you really asking whether or not you can trust. You know damn well who it is. You need to be asking who you can trust, and now it's giving us an idea of who's standing behind this door for them to be deliberating like that. And lo and behold, is Sinister, who also had, well, we already knew about his thing. He has already been hundreds of years old. But he's one of the originals still hanging around here. Surprise, surprise. Oh, and also Ironfire and Cora have found a new 5. They found a way to redo Resurrection, as was prophesized when we were reading issue 2. They found a new way to replicate the Resurrection, and the way that they do it, as opposed to the parts that they had before, is interesting. So we'll stop there and talk about how they do it when we get there. But I did want to look at this panel of who the big bad is at this point, or at least one of the big bads.
Right.
Miss Red Queen, Emma Frost. This is pretty dope. This is pretty dope.
I'm sitting up here like, really? The Red Queen?
The Red Queen.
I can't say nothing because, you know, I've seen this in like some reviews of other various issues and everything like that. But when I saw what you did at the end, I was like, wow. Yeah, that's hard right there. But yeah, I mean, like, you know what? I ain't gonna lie. I like Emma's character. I like, because I've seen so much growth from her character when she made her initial debut with the Hellfire Club. I know she's not gonna be this when they go back and everything, but there's been a lot of character growth with Emma Frost, and them hooking her up with Scott Summers, I was like, wow. And clearly Jean cool with it, and the fact that Jean don't bring him back, she do. I'm like, wow. I love it, the character development and everything like that. I know Sinister got his things, but I'm definitely there for it. Like I said, Emma has come a long way. She was even on the Fox TV show, the Generation X. Like she been portrayed in live action more than once.
Yeah. and it makes sense that she is probably the one who breaks out or takes advantage of Sinister's lack of awareness, right? Ultimately to become a boss herself, right?
Right.
Because at last we saw in Moral X-Men, Sinister was a lapdog.
Yeah.
He was a slave. So it didn't really take a long time that was by year 100. So it didn't take a long time for Sinister to lose control of this thing. And so if there's somebody else who was going to ascend, and it's not going to be Magneto, it's not going to be Professor X, Emma Frost seems like the most likely candidate. So this definitely checks out. It reads.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So it looks like she is using these. What do they call them? What are these?
If I had to say anything, she looked like she controlling 4 artists. 4 artists that are actually, I guess, familiar with the Jamie Madrox, the Multiple Man.
I guess that comes in a few pages where they tell us about the chimeras that they've created at this point. But these seem to be some sort of psychic version of the Jamie Madrox mutant and his abilities, and she's using these clone brains to scan the universe to try to find John Ironfire and the rest of the rebels, or the rest of the Brotherhood, what we're calling them. She's found them, but she's doing it so sophisticatedly. Is that a word? Sophisticatedly?
We gonna make it do what it do. It's this.
Yeah. That the king is unaware, the king being Ironfire, right? So as they are showing Sinister Resurrection, this is where we get a breakdown of the pieces that replace Egg and Proteus, and who else was in there? Hope and was it Cannonball?
Legion. I think Legion was there.
Well, Legion wasn't part of the Legion can do the part of Professor X or Hope.
Let me see. I know it. Hope, Goldball
does the mental placing. She puts the consciousness back into the body. I'm missing somebody though. Proteus, Egg, Hope.
That's what I meant to say. Proteus. You're right. Proteus, Egg, Hope.
Damn, man. Okay, hold on. We ain't gonna do this. Not on the pod. Hold on. I got a computer.
Look, not when you got smart devices. Tempest, Proteus, Hope Summers, Elixir, and Egg.
There you go.
So, man, listen, I'm not finna do that.
There you go. So, the ones that we have replacing them here, of course, we've got Sinister.
Right.
And he's got looks like he's got a strain of DNA that he's been coveting here for a while.
Right.
We've got Karna, the commander.
Right.
Who has the life, or she gives the order to the egg basically to bear life. So she fertilizes it, which is I think was Elixir's job. Maybe either Elixir or Proteus, one of them. Bloodroot, the bone shaper, formed veins and limbs in the sculpture of flesh. Whoever made the husk inside, that was their job.
I think that might have been Elixir.
Is that Elixir? So then Proteus probably was the one who fertilized the egg. Egg obviously creates the egg.
Right.
While Genus Mind Flayer tore the memories from the king himself. So no longer do they have the Shi'ar crystals. No longer do they have the helmet. Cerebro, none of the Cerebro backups. All of that is gone. So the only way we can get any resemblance of a consciousness that's anything close to Storm is by putting her closest remaining friend or confidant and taking their memories and trying to form a consciousness off of that. That's deep. That's deep. If you were to come out even halfway like she was, you have fond memories of that person.
Yeah, but what if you got the wrong memory of the person?
What if you had the wrong perception? That's what I was thinking about. Like, what if you really thought that this person was a dick? And then they took your memories to create their consciousness. That's a dangerous slope right there, man.
Watch this. Low key, we saw this when me and you reviewed Avengers versus X-Men versus Eternals. They took Tony Stark's consciousness and you put it in the Celestial. What was you expecting?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think out of everybody though, John is probably the most trusted.
Yes.
Uh, and that's probably what it's like. Oh, and Korra bathed them all in her heart's fire, creating union. So that would be hope, right?
Right.
Hope was the key to resurrection to bring it all together.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, as prophesied, they bring Aurora back. She has risen in a very, very what do you call this?
God-like manner.
Godlike, yeah, very not supernatural.
You want to say Old Testament?
Biblical. Not that wasn't what I was looking for, but that wraps it up. I guess that sums it up.
It's a fair assessment, and we turn it to the readers and everything like that, and the people that's rocking with us, and you see how they bringing it back and everything like that. Yeah, that's biblical. I mean, that's what they were going for. That was the look they were going for, and you even see John on the next page kneeling before her.
Yep.
So that's the look they were going for. He still looks like a Norseman. He still looks like a Norse guy.
He really just looks like Odin. He just is giving off Odin. It's very strong.
There's nothing X-Men about him, mutant about him in this book. It looks straight up like, yeah, you Odin.
And I didn't really want to point it out, but since he keeps popping up in the book, I keep seeing him. Did they clone Howard the Duck or something? And they cloned Howard the Duck with Exodus and made whatever this duck creature is.
Don't do that.
They put Exodus together with Howard the Duck, and that's how they got Homeboy.
In the background over Sinister's show and everything like that. I don't know if you noticed it. I'm gonna turn it around and everything like that. This is how much John has it for Aurora. I don't know if you're able to see, like his belt buckle. That's actually her tiara.
Oh, you right. That's her sigil. You're right. You are right. But see, I told you, remember last week, that sigil had replaced the X. So the symbol of the X used to be on everybody's uniform, right? Every fighter jet, every X-Man building, every uniform, the X was somewhere present. Same thing with Aurora. She has become what Professor X was to mutants.
Well, you know what, Charles, if you and I have read, I think Charles has always had it where, because even if we go back in the day, he had X-Men Blue, X-Men Gold. You know, Aurora was a leader and Scott was a leader and everything like that. I think by and large that Charles is Aurora. Even Magneto, he said, "Hey, you take care of Charles." He didn't, she has earned that over time, and that's why I say I'm loving the fact that this to me is just another continuation of her growth.
Yeah.
As, you know what? I'm finna be petty. Since you and I met and everything like that, we started reviewing comic books with Aurora in them. It's safe to say we've seen more character growth with her than with somebody else.
With her than with
her former husband, her ex-husband. We've seen more character development with her than I.
We're not going to do that today.
I'm not going to take all the way there, but I'm just saying, like,
today.
As far as writing, this is what we talk about when we talk about character development.
In the last 18 months or so, you're right. You are absolutely right.
I have been doing comic books. Even John is going to leave this mini story. I've only seen John in 3 issues. He's going to leave this story arc, show up in the current timeline with depth to his character. And that's what it's all about. That's what we've been asking for. That's what we've been requesting. Build these characters, tell their stories, tell stories that make sense, that keep evolving them.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all. That's with any character, though. But that's all I want to say. Ironically enough, since you and I.
You're right. I mean, you're right. You're right. It's just depressing. That's all. Yeah. Right after Aurora is resurrected, and right before Sinister is about to ask for his favor to cash in for helping resurrect Aurora, the alarms are sounded. Looks like the Red Queen is pulling up. So, okay, this is what you was talking about to the data page. Okay, this is explaining the Chimera sets that they've kind of morphed together to form their army, and it's an interesting mashup here, man. This is some deadly combinations. So we've got Designation 33, right? Codename High Summers. You got Scott Summers, Alex Summers, Gabriel Summers, and A. Abdul. Who is that? A. Abdul? Who is that?
Living monolith. Back in the day, we used to call him the Sphinx.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's what.
His power is energy absorption and high multiplication.
Height.
So he's like what, Matrix?
Height multiplication. He can get bigger.
Height multiplication. Okay. Okay, he can grow. Weird.
Yeah, that's a fancy way of saying growing.
Weird way of putting that. Yeah, this has kind of fucked me up.
But if you think about it, though, that's instant death.
Yeah. Oh, what is it? Which one?
33. That's instant death. The fact that Vulcan is involved in this alone.
So their circuit capability, right? What they're able to form together to do a perpetual energy loop in a siege tower. Like as an individual, it can turn itself into a siege tower. Jesus. Okay, next one. Designate 68. Codename Loudhailer. I don't know if I like this one more or the first one. Because we got Lotus Lagos, we've got Siren, we got Frenzy, and we've got Random. Lotus Lagos, obviously the metallic voice, vocal projection from Siren. We've got strength, speed, durability from Frenzy. And then Random, malleable body, counter adaptation. Their circuit capability, right? All forming together to have extreme firepower capability and a shield wall. So basically a living torrent, a living century.
I don't even know. I did Sinister come up with these or did Emma come up with these? Because this don't make no damn sense.
They probably used Sinister to get these combinations before they booted him or he ran away, wherever he got loose. Like they probably made him do this. They most definitely made him do this.
Yeah, code name Hot Claw, Pharaoh, Feline, Physiognomy. I ain't even gonna try.
Physiognomy.
I'm not even gonna say. Feline powers.
Exactly. The fact that you doubled down on it, though, you doubled down on it. Like you really want her putting hands on people, or this Chimera putting. You doubled down on it.
Physiognomy.
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 Yeah, we're gonna listen. Man. You know what? I'm trying to be funny, throwing all these words in here. How about just the feline capabilities? How about that one? Yeah, the feline physiology.
Physiognomy.
That's what we would say in 2023. I know we like 1,000 years in the future. We want to say something different. But feline physiology in the comic books in 2023. I'm not going to do all this.
Unstoppable close quarter attack. So the hot claws are kind of like little Wolverines, which that was okay. It was decent. Little foot soldiers. Those are the pawns. Those are the ones that probably die first. Designate 128, codename Sage Advisor, which is probably the most dangerous of the group, the most capable. So you got Sage, Captain Britain, Artie, and Multiple Man all together to combine mental computation from Sage, telepathy and telekinesis from Betsy Braddock, image projection from Madrix, and you've got self-replication from Jamie Madrix. They are an infinite information processing and computation being altogether. That's probably the most dangerous, and that's probably what we were looking at. Those things sitting around Emma, those are probably Sage Advisors.
I don't know how you feel about the hot claws because they can turn they liquid metal.
Yeah,
mercury.
They're definitely the cavalry for sure.
Yeah,
or the infantry.
But yeah, this was definitely interesting. I noticing that Emma's ships, her spaceships, look like diamond rings.
They look like what?
They look like diamond rings. You know, the other ships that she's controlling in space and everything like that are around
like diamonds. Yeah, it's so perfectly Emma Frost.
Oh man, that is funny to me.
Moving on, as she's laying an assault on the stronghold of the Brotherhood, It looks like she's preparing in some sort of tub or stasis bath, something like that. And you realize as the panels go on that she's controlling this giant kaiju that she synced her consciousness to. Marvel has gotten very, and maybe I'm just noticing it, but I feel like over the last maybe like 6 to 8 months, they've gotten very kaiju happy. I've seen this thing pop up in the Hulk. Iron Man was like that for a minute. They're doing it again now in X-Men. It's like all the writers caught the kaiju bug at the same time.
My innocence is being robbed to a degree because when I was reading comics as a kid, you're like, oh, and as you get older, you see certain things and you see certain trends, and God forbid you actually got a degree in it. You start to see like, so we just running out of ideas right now. That's what that is. We just running out of ideas, and I guess because we done seen so much Godzilla here lately, and Kong and Pacific Rim and everything like that, and because some of these writers were actually young kids when them movies came out, so they went to go see the movie. So you know what? While it makes no sense whatsoever, let me throw a giant neck in the X-Men book. They gonna be controlling.
Why does she even need to do this? Is my point. Why does she need to do this right now? What is it? She has an army of ultimate mutants. She should be able to take them out just by attrition, right? Just by laying siege on the world farm, or the storm system as they're calling it now, until they give. You have an unlimited supply. Now, when they call it the mistress mode, what I thought, which kind of gets debunked. Initially, right. I thought this was a callback to House and Powers, right? Because when they talked about that hierarchy of intelligence, the mother mode was the jumping off point to that higher intelligence, where they would eventually get to the Nimrods and the Phalanx and the Dominions and all that, right? Yes. The mother mode is where it started. So I thought that's what this was happening. Like, even though it's Sinister clones, and even though we're on a completely different timeline, we still end up with the same result of some type of hybrid, right? Where they're using AI to perpetuate another race, or to take over the universe, or to join a dominion. That's where I thought we was going with this. Nah, it doesn't look that way. It doesn't look that way at all. It just looks like big kaiju monster controlled by Emma Frost.
That's it. In space, which is crazy. You know what? I saw a kaiju in space a long time ago. I was watching Power Rangers in space.
Watching Power Rangers in space.
I mean, I'm just looking at a giant kaiju in space. Haven't we seen Iron Man do this with the God armor? Okay, no.
All right, so it's time to get down, right? Everybody jumps into battle. Sinister, of course, is counseling against it. Let's go run away. There's a random Doombot on the ground that he picks up a gun from. I don't know why there's a Doombot just sitting around for him to pick up.
Around in this series for me, like the other comics and everything, don't know why the Doombot is there, but the Doombot been floating around. So
he's just sitting there, but he's there for us to figure out what Sinister's next move is. And this is, calling back to when I was kind of talking about that this may have confirmed that we're going back. The question that he asked the Doombot, where's Moira? Okay, well, let me see what you're trying to do. You trying to get out of this whole thing. You trying to go back, right?
I mean, who would go back in their right mind, though? This look like hell.
That's why I didn't understand the whole thing with Storm, because it didn't, I don't know. It didn't really track to me, but whatever, we're here. Right.
What they're trying to make it seem like was that I don't want to sacrifice this reality, because there have been people, even though this reality is effed up, there are people, not reality, timeline, whatever, future state, it's jacked up. There have been people that have lived in it, and there are people still living in it. And mind you, I'm not saying she was right, because no, we need to go back, because this lifestyle is effed all the way up. That's what she was fighting for. Don't necessarily agree with it. I understand the pure sense of it, though.
For sure. All right, so Chimeras and the last of the Brotherhood are engaged in battle. Storm is holding her own, but she's doing it mostly off of instinct, and not off of any type of experience, right? So in the midst of that, Korra has the right idea to juice her up once more, like she did 1,000 years ago when they first stole the World Farm. And it brings back a piece of Storm's spirit that had been left in the universe. She gets her so powerful that she's able to absorb what remnants of her being were still out in the universe, and she's able to bring it back enough that she's able to fight and use her power to her full extent.
Right.
Now it's time for people to start falling. Right, we in a bad way. Korra the Burning Heart, too weak to even lift their sword. They just took out Karana and Genus. Both are gone. Yeah. To those howlers, man, I'm trying to tell you that the howler is like a human torrent. You can't shoot it because they got them shields up, Lotus Lagos, with the metal bending, and then he's shooting metal projectiles out of his mouth. That's a bad move. It's a bad day at the office.
Bad move. Like, I felt bad. Like, we flip over to the next page, we see Korra, making it do what it do and everything. Korra, Sinister, John, and everything like that. And
trying to make a last stand. Even Sinister done got in the bag, and he firing with the Doombot gun, but again, they're being overwhelmed. So why did we need the big Kaiju Megazord?
I don't know. Listen, I felt bad when Korra looked up and she said goodbye, John. I was like, you know what? I did.
As my boy Bloodroot is bleeding out, he dying on the ground. She just trying to get to John so he can throw up a shield or something. And look over his shoulder. She have enough time to say, "Oh, all right, John." Like if I was watching this in a movie, everything except for the big kaiju monster, but all of this would be dope.
You know what this reminds me of?
This battle was nice.
You know what this reminds me of? The best part of X-Men Days of Future Past, the movie.
The beginning, like the first 10 minutes, the opening sequence.
The Sentinels came in there.
You talk about raising some stakes. I'm like, damn, it's Magneto, Storm. This is it. And y'all done found a way to bring Bishop into it. Proud Star, John Proud Star was in there.
Yeah.
Like, there's some people. Y'all even, was that supposed to be Psylocke? The Asian chick in there?
Nah, Blink.
Okay, Blink. Yeah, man, they were showing us characters for 5 minutes that we wanted to see for 5 years. Shoot.
Hey, but it was nice though. You know what? Days of Future Past was honestly, and I know we ain't really talking about that.
That was the best X-Men movie. It's not even for debate.
Yes. Yes. See? Okay.
There's a lot of weirdos out there that are trying to tell you X-Men First Class. X-Men Days of Future Past was the best X-Men movie for sure.
Somebody explain to me how somebody that can literally adapt to any damn thing died first. Not just died at all. First.
Make it make sense. What was the reason?
Yo, I know what the reason was, and I'm tired of that being the reason. Watch this. I wish I would go see the Marvels, knowing what I know. It better be debunked by Marcus and Josh, because I know y'all gonna check it out. Y'all better come back and tell me that ain't how it went down. For me to get
I hope I have good news for you, because if not, okay. They thought the Black Panther 2 coverage was bad.
Bro, listen, because we gonna go back to the comic, but we saw the trailer, we was like, well, we read the plot synopsis. It looked like that plot synopsis dead on point.
It seemed like something that's going on in these books right now, huh? But again, we'll check it out.
Yeah.
All right, so right here at the end, we get a quick back and forth between Kaiju Emma and Storm. Storm, I guess, knows just enough of Emma to banter with her quickly before she explodes the entire Megazord with a lightning blast. No, not exactly a lightning blast. Raw electrons transferred through her sky, all torn directly from the covalent bonds connecting atoms. The carbon molecules bonding to form Frost-Hearted Queen, shattered into fragments in the moment with nuclear force, so that for one instant, a red sun rose in the storm system, and is shown as baleful light glowing with death upon aurora. That didn't make me understand what happened anymore. So yeah, she just blew it up.
That basically. But if
that didn't make me understand no better what happened. She just exploded it.
if I sit down and I gotta process what they said, what you're telling me in the second bubble, all torn directly from the covalent bonds connecting atoms. She better not know how to pull this off when she get back. Because I know Core gave her a little boost and everything like that. But what you're telling me is Aurora is capable of affecting things on an atomic level.
Yeah, yeah.
Now watch this. I'm here for it because Magneto kept doing his thing and didn't have no heart. So I'm here. If that's what we're doing, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So
yeah. It sounded pretty.
They did. This how they talk 1,000 years from now. We don't talk like that now.
For sure. Okay, so Storm has fallen again, which was okay. I don't know if that needed to happen, but whatever. Right? She exerted herself. Her lack of experience, kind of kept her from blocking herself from the radiation while she was in space. So she has fallen. John Ironfire is in grief once again, but he is not sharp enough to realize that all of this was a ploy just to get them to take out Emma so that he would be in better position to take over and get that Moira farm. So, coming up, we've got one more issue, I believe, or two. We've got Nightcrawlers, and then we've got the Sins of Sinister Dominion to close out the event here. What do you think is going to happen in those last two issues to send us home? I think it's pretty foregone that we're going back home, but how do you think we're going to get there?
I don't know, because I'm looking at it now like, okay, Aurora's back. If we're talking about previews that we've seen down the road, if Aurora's back, John is coming back and everything like that. So the question is, who makes the game-saving play at the end of the day? Are we really sitting up because Cora's gone, John's gone, we really believe in this Sinister, Emma's gone. Who is this coming down to right now?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's gonna have to be the big dog to make the decision and everything like that. It can't be Sinister. We're having the fall of X, so that's gonna be something different. It might be the other Sinister clone because she plays a prominent role in the stories going forward and everything like that. So she might be the one to take it back where now she's the one sitting in the catbird seat without all of the other Sinisters running around and everything. Who knows?
Well, right, it's got to be her, I think, because Stellaris is out, right? We took the world farm from him. That was his thing. He killed the rest of the collective that he had with the remaining Skrull and Krees and all that. This Sinister obviously is looking for the Moira farm. It seems like it's going to be Girl Sinister versus Boy Sinister to duke it out to see who wins. Go.
Here's my thing, if I could. Long-standing X-Men fan and everything like that. Like I rocking with them when they had the blue and yellow uniforms. And no, I ain't talking about when David did with Jeff Loeb and everything. With the, I ain't talking about that when his guys had thongs under the crack of their butt. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the original five. So to me, it's like, okay, where are we going? Because as an X-Men fan, I didn't necessarily rock with them when they was all wearing leather. I didn't like the artwork, didn't necessarily like the story. Beast was looking more beastly than Beast back in the, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't necessarily like that. So now we took the X-Men off the board because we didn't want to promote Fox when they had rights to the X-Men and everything like that. So Marvel gets the rights back. Now we bring the X-Men, House of X, bring them in with fanfare. Been a good run. I've liked it. We really finna tear all that down with Fall of X, like.
I mean, they haven't done it any favors with the it's weird. It's like over-reliance on events to kind of drive the line, but then constantly under-delivering in these events. I mean, constantly. You got Trial of Magneto, you got X Lives of Wolverine, you've got Sins of Sinister now. The only ones that stick out to me that are even satisfactory, and it's really surprising to even say this. Of course, Inferno was one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, Avengers versus X-Men versus Eternals wasn't terrible. Axe was okay. But really, that had lasting impact and that were coherent? You got Inferno, you got Ten of Swords. And when Ten of Swords came out, people shitted all over Ten of Swords.
Right.
And now that we've gotten everything that has come post Ten of Swords, I don't see how Ten of Swords isn't one of the top 2 or 3 X-Men events that they've had since they did House of X.
I
Not
tell you
including House of X, of course.
Right. I tell you where I'm at with it, because you're right. They're using events to drive the story. It wasn't always like that though. Like I remember, when we had the giant books and everything, the graphic novels, we got the New Mutants. Okay, we got stories involving the New Mutants in their own comic book.
Mm-hmm.
We got the X-Men. We had stories involving the X-Men in their own comic book. We knew they were all related, but they had stories. X-Force, when Cable was there, they introduced Deadpool and everything like that. They brought old Sam Guthrie, Cannonball. They had stories. Now it's like, okay, what about the X-Men? And when I say X-Men, I ain't talking about every damn mutant that's out there. What's going on with the team? Is that book even relevant? And it should be. That book is.
They got something going on that I think is going to play into like a Captain Marvel book or something like that. Something with the Brood.
I want to get back to, we got established characters and everything like that. Like I said, there's been a lot of building up with Aurora. I like that. But what's really going on with Scott? What is going on? Aside from Logan, I think we've dumbed him down. Like Wolverine is not, he's just a piss ant for Beast. It doesn't necessarily remind me what's going on with Warren Worthington III. There are key characters there. I love the new characters. Frenzy. Okay, you give me a prominent role. It's almost like you want to do something with Frenzy, but you like, I don't know if I want to take that.
Yeah. I agree.
Same thing with Tempo. It's almost like you want to take
to, but you like, I don't know if they're gonna let me. They gonna call me woke. If I put a black woman in it, they gonna call me woke.
It's like I said, and it's on, you brought me back to the comics. Thank you so much for that. I've been thoroughly pleased with some of the things that we've read. And then some of the things we've been reading have just left me like, it's almost like you got editors. So at this point in time, I don't want to fault the writers anymore, because you're a writer. It's the editor's job to make sure you get it right. My question now is, what is the editor-in-chief at Marvel doing? Are you even reading these books? You got to be looking at the sales numbers. Hey, we're going to see. We're going to come back. We're going to see what's going on. Like I said, I'm here for it. There's certain aspects that I can take out of a bad story that's still good. So we getting some good stuff. But, man, it's almost like you said, man, everything has to be... everything has to be an epic, and no, it don't. That wasn't how D-Real said something the other day. It used to be something where they had a 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1 format for comics. One issue, story was self-contained. You get maybe a 3-issue story arc with 3 mini stories with an overarching story. Then you get 2 stories. You get 2, maybe standalone stories. Then we give you 1 where we introduce a new. There used to be some type of rhyme or rhythm to it. Now it's like, let's just put stuff out there.
I think that all went away when Disney acquired, and it became more of an assembly line process. But we'll be here all night if we get into that one, because that extends for more than just comic books to most of the property over there. But
absolutely,
give us your guys' thoughts on the book if you read it. Give us your comments. Like, share, subscribe, push this out. Come back every week. We usually have some type of review content going on. And Theo, appreciate you coming through, brother.
Always, brother. Always.